Oh, hey, Kat.
We could do in the beginning. Yeah,
Great.
yeah, let's do it. Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Movie Mood. I'm your host, Alex Van Horn.
I'm John Alberto.
And today we're finishing up our talk of the movies of our lives, part two.
Yep, we are
We're going
going.
through every single. Oh, I'm like reverbing here. Here we go. Yeah. We're going through the movies of our lives. And so far we've made it to 2007.
Yes, and we were working backwards. So we've done 2020 to 2007.
That's right.
Yep.
Or 28 for those of you guys who are wondering.
Yeah.
But I wanted to try out a new segment called What We're Watching. And it doesn't have to be a movie necessarily, but it could be like a movies that we're interested in or stuff that's kind of like taking us by surprise. So we could talk about, TV series or video games or whatever, just stuff that we're watching. So what have you been watching lately, John?
Right on. Well, Alex, this morning I could not fall asleep. I was up at 3 a.m. So I put on Prime Video and I watched a Sorkin movie, shocker of shockers.
Yeah.
I watched Charlie Wilson's War from
Yeah.
2007. Have you seen that one?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a good one. What was that from? Like 2008?
That was 2007. So it's actually
2007 also. Wow.
Yeah. So we're starting with 2007. I was watching an 07 movie this year to start things off.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember it being really good with really good performances from Tom Hanks and the greatest of them all, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yep, Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
fantastic Aaron Sorkin strip and Mike Nichols.
Yes, Mike Nichols' last movie actually. Yep.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah.
What about you?
I was on what did I watch? Oh, I watched this show called Painting with John.
That's on HBO Max, right?
Yeah. I finished it this morning, but I re-got HBO just so I could watch it because I really like Fishing with John, which is John Lurie's show from the 90s, and he was a big like kind of a hipster figure a little bit. But I really loved that show. It was really funny, and I don't know, it was almost like a podcast. It was just like hanging out with John Lurie.
Nice.
I enjoyed it.
Nice.
Also, I had like a Marlene Dietrich phase like last weekend. I was just watching when it was snowing and I was like sick. I like just watched a ton of Marlene Dietrich movies. She's amazing actor.
What was your favorite of
Well, I'd seen Blue Angel way back, and that one is a really good one, but that's hard. I really like the one where either Dishonored or Morocco. I like the stuff where she's like a spy, and I don't know, like her facial expressions. There's something about like just movie acting is all about just like facial expressions and body language, and it's got this very beautiful black and white that's very expressionistic, and then you've got Marlene Dietrich who's just being like really quirky, and I don't know. I watched a lot of them. So I mean, Dishonored, Morocco, The Devil is a Woman. Those are all good to go. Good movies.
Right on.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right. So you ready to talk 07?
Yeah, let's talk 07.
So what was your pick for 2007? Incredible year.
Yeah, holy Toledo, incredible year. I am looking down my list, and I went with a bit of an unexpected one for me, actually. In the year of, There Will Be Blood and No Country for Old Men, I went with The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
It's a great one. It's and for the longtime listeners of our show, I think most people will know that Westerns are not my go-to genre. But this really stuck out for me, and I think it was one of the first movies where I appreciated Brad Pitt as an actor.
True.
Yeah, he was fantastic in it, playing Jesse James alongside Casey Affleck's Robert Ford.
Yeah, I remember it being for me. I didn't see it in 2007, but I heard about it. I watched it later, And I was definitely blown away with Casey Affleck and Brad Pitt's performance. In particular, Casey Affleck. I mean, he's really, yeah, very like Marlon Brando esque, I would say. But he takes it almost to the next level in a way, and you
Right, a
don't feel
very
like
very brooding performance.
for sure, yeah, very similar to Manchester by the Sea. Also, I believe Jeremy Renner is in it.
Yes, he is. He sure is.
He's
Actually,
he's an
a,
interesting guy.
a lot of cool people in it. You got Sam Rockwell there. You got Sam Shepard there.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was totally picturing Jeremy Renner in Sam Rockwell's role, but I realize now that that was actually Sam Rockwell, and that's weird.
Right. Yeah.
My memory of it has suddenly changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it being particularly the movie itself very Terrence Malick ish,
Hmm.
and also Nick Cave has a big part in it. He's a pretty cinematic dude. Nick Cave.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
music
His,
works
yeah,
really well.
yeah, absolutely. The score of the movie is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it was 2007 was such a year, man. Like,
Mhm.
for movies as a whole, for music and movies, for even arguably the Western genre, if you will.
Yeah. I feel like 2007, I would like to just say right now, I'm for my movie choices, I don't think I could pick one movie. I think I'm just gonna pick the entire year of
Good
2007.
for you.
Just all the movies that came out. I think it was one of the last years where celluloid was still being used in movie theaters, because I specifically remember seeing No Country for Old Men on celluloid, but I don't think, because I think 2008 Social Network came out, right?
Social Network was 2010.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, I think the digital cinemas started to come in around that time. I
Yeah,
feel.
I think so.
Yeah, I might be wrong on that, but I feel like specifically 2007 was a year where it was kind of like almost the end of celluloid in a way.
Mhm.
Um, and there's some really beautiful films that came out, very intense movies for, kind of reflecting where the country was at and where the country was headed. But you got No Country for Old Men, There Will Be Blood. Those are two of the big, giants of that year. Michael Clayton for sure.
Mhm.
Juno.
Juno,
But I think
Breach. Yeah,
my personal favorite is out of all of them, if I was to pick one, because you also had The Lookout. I'm blanking on all the other ones. Oh, Into the Wild.
of
And
course. My favorite iMovie.
yeah. But I think, yeah, probably Zodiac. I think Zodiac is my favorite, and it felt like it was one of the first like actual rated R movies I was allowed to go see. And I'd seen R movies before, but not in theaters. And that one was just it was kind of underrated, but I think now it's kind of generally thought of as David Fincher's best, or if not that one, then The Social Network.
Yeah, yeah. I think Zodiac has definitely kind of grown in acclaim over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a sprawling, suspense
Hmm.
story about a serial killer. It's so good, and it
It's
has
very
great
good.
performances. I think that was actually shot on the red camera, which was kind of then was like a big deal, because it was like, can you shoot like a historical epic on a red, da da da, but it still looks great. Yeah, it works.
Nice.
And it had, I feel like that year was also, did Iron Man come out?
Iron Man came out in '08.
Okay, yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
that was the beginning of Robert Downey Jr. having his kind of new career.
Right. Yeah. I was actually about to comment that like Zodiac was his big movie right before
Yeah,
Iron Man, and
it was a comeback.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because his career before that is kind of spotty a little bit, and then it just kind of like took off, and we have the Avengers now, and we can't get rid of it.
Yep. So forever. Well, 2020 we did not have an MCU release.
That's true, except for the stuff that was on Disney Plus. But we
Oh,
talked
true,
the
true.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's that one show, um,
WandaVision.
miniseries. Yeah,
Yeah.
uh, I won't deign to watch it. I won't watch it. So many people tell me to watch it. I say nope.
Nice. No, I still have so many things I need to watch before I can get to WandaVision. I need to watch The Wire. I need to.
You do need to watch the Wire. Actually, don't watch it. Don't watch the Wire.
I've watched 5 episodes, so I'm.
You'll like the second season. Like once, I think you'll like it.
I know. I know. But yeah, great TV out there too. But we're talking about movies, and 2007 was rad. 2007 was perfect. So
it was good times for us too, because we were in high school and
yeah,
just kind of starting out, and yeah,
nice. Yeah, I'm looking at the list of all these movies I saw from 2007, and I realized there are 4 westerns or pseudo westerns on there. That's
yeah, it was a big year for like westerns in particular. Yeah, No Country for Old Men and There Will Be Blood and Texas. What are the other westerns?
So
Assassination.
The Assassination of Jesse James, and then the remake of 3:10 to Yuma with Christian Bale and Russell Crowe.
Yeah,
on there.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. It's funny. The ending is just kind of weird. The 3:10 to Yuma doesn't seem to come together, but it's a cool movie.
Right.
So,
all right.
What did you pick for 2006?
What did you pick first? Because what I'll choose depends on what you chose.
I chose Children of Men.
I thought you were going to say The Departed, and I was going to choose Children of Men. So I'll go with The Departed.
I almost picked The Departed. So
yeah. Very, very different movies. Children of Men is really terrific, but I'll talk about The Departed.
Okay.
So we have this was probably the second Martin Scorsese movie that I saw that I remember like actively being a Martin Scorsese movie.
Me too, I think.
Yeah, the first one for me was The Aviator. But The Aviator, while it is, everybody in the world knows I love The Aviator. It's different from a lot of Scorsese movies. Like it.
But Departed or The Aviator?
The Aviator.
Yeah.
But The Departed, when you think of Scorsese, you think of, big city, crime, gangsters, rock and roll, all of it. And The Departed rocks it. Like, yeah, it's one of Jack Nicholson's last performances as well.
That's true. Yeah. And I don't think people thought it was, but yeah, it's a really good Jack performance.
Yeah, terrific. Yeah. That is, and again, just kind of an all-star cast there. You've got
one of the best.
DiCaprio, Damon, Wahlberg, Nicholson, Baldwin, Sheen.
Yeah.
Whew. Yeah.
Fermiga? Am I saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really good. Yeah. It's an all-star cast. It's interesting because, it won Martin Scorsese the Oscar, but certainly he had so many good movies that could have won.
Right.
So it was definitely like, okay, finally give it to him, because it's been a minute. I don't know if The Aviator. I feel like The Aviator is actually a lot like a Martin Scorsese movie, and The Departed also, in the way that like a lot of his movies kind of like happen over a large span of time.
Yeah.
30 years or so. And The Aviator is kind of like in that same vein as like Raging Bull or Goodfellas, except, it doesn't have to do with gangsters, but it does have a lot to do with movies.
Yeah. So don't get me wrong when I say that. I know it's a Scorsese movie, and I think the way you can really tell it's a Scorsese movie is by the editing.
Yeah.
But I think that, when a non-cinephile would think of a Scorsese movie, something like The Departed would come to mind.
Yeah. A gangster epic.
Yeah.
It's true. And The Departed has like a really good story too, like a really good plot. The ending is, a shocker in a good way. And it's got great performances. That was one of the first I saw where I was like, oh, Leo has a lot of range. And he's really amazing in it. I think that was the first Scorsese movie I saw. And I remember it being very like, I feel like I was kind of young when I saw it and just being like, whoa, like hearing all the cursing and the scene where they go to the porno theater and just, yeah, super violent.
Yeah.
And just being like, whoa, like, what is this? But being really into it and really entertained and loving it. I still love The Departed. It's a great movie.
Yeah, it's a terrific movie. Definitely a heavy watch for a younger viewer.
Yeah, it's also like 3 hours, but it's like a lot of Scorsese movies. It's 3 hours, but you're not bored.
The editing, man. That's what he's so good with is
Thelma Shoemaker.
Yep. His movies, most Scorsese movies I've seen are quite long, except for like After Hours and stuff, but pretty much none of them feel like, a 3 hour, 15-minute long movie,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Certainly not Wolf of Wall Street.
No, nonstop.
So much coke.
Yeah.
Coke doing. Yeah, I think that's one of the big things, honestly, about Scorsese that's been really influential for me is the editing, because the editing is it can be really very radical in a way. Like there's constantly these moments where like things will stop, or like something will happen super, super fast and it'll just have like a single sound, and just the function of editing is really a big it makes you aware of the editing in a good way.
Right.
Yeah.
Another movie that has great editing, by the way, Children of Men.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But definitely for different
for a different reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about it. Because I love Children of Men as well. That was number one. So go ahead.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. I think I saw it at a friend's house, and like I just remember like uncontrollably crying at the end, just being like, oh, like at this person's house, just like weeping over this movie. And it's a intense film, it is in the line of Blade Runner and like a lot of dystopian sci-fi movies, but it's done in a way that it just feels like you're there. It feels like a documentary, and there's a lot to take from it. There's a lot to see. It also kind of opened me up about the editing. The single take shots are really incredible, and Roma has it too, but there's certain points of Roma where I feel like it's too much. Like in particular, the maybe I shouldn't spoil it, but there's one scene where I just thought it was too much.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's too gimmicky, but in Children of Men it feels like it's a part of the story, and there's really amazing scenes.
It's interesting because I feel like a single take, or a movie that's made to look like it's more or less done in a single take, could be gimmicky, but it very rarely do the movies that I've seen that are made that way come across that way. Like it doesn't feel gimmicky in Children of Men. It doesn't feel gimmicky in one of your other favorites, Birdman, and
that's right.
It doesn't feel gimmicky in 1917 either.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, but those are all movies made by terrific directors.
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen Russian Ark either, but no. that movie is crazy. It's one shot.
Like actually one shot, or
it's actually one shot.
Oh, yeah. That's incredible. Nice.
And it goes through different like time periods of Russian history, and yeah,
it's called Russian Ark.
Russian Ark. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
I've only seen it once, but I just remember being like, it's not stopping.
It's pretty remarkable.
Hasn't cut. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I think it's really cool, when people can pull it off, and there's battle scenes that take place with the one shot scene. It really makes you feel like you're there. Yeah, I guess sort of like comparing like Scorsese and that. Scorsese feels very like almost like classical filmmaking, but like on steroids a little bit.
Yeah.
where like he has these, super intricate shots that all, mean something to the greater story. And in Children of Men, it's like more of like a documentary almost.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Children of Men is the best. I think it's probably my favorite Alfonso Cuarón movie, but I like Y Tu Mama Tambien. Tambien.
Yeah, he is a very, very gifted filmmaker for sure.
Definitely.
And this takes us into 05.
Yeah, I wonder if we have the same one.
We might. I was choosing between a documentary and a biopic from that year.
Okay, well maybe not. I actually chose Batman Begins.
Oh, I did not choose Batman Begins.
Yeah,
like Batman Begins is cool, but I didn't. I chose The Dark Knight earlier, so I didn't want to. I didn't want to be that guy.
Which one did you choose?
I chose Enron, the smartest guys in the room.
Whoa, nice. Yeah. That's a good choice.
Great documentary about corporate greed, shady accounting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that for some reason when I thought of that movie, I thought it was about 2008, but it's not.
No, it's about Enron, which was the very early 2000s.
That's right. Yeah, and that was like a big deal. They were like making up how much money they had. I can't remember, but they were, saying they had all this money, but really they didn't have anything.
Yeah.
Their company collapsed.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched that on a plane, and really liked it.
That's a good movie to watch on a plane.
Yeah.
There are always good movies to watch on a plane, like movies that like nothing too like crazy happens on screen. So like, the people next to you won't look over at you and think you're like a terrible person for watching it on a plane. But like, a movie like Spotlight or like All the President's Men, those are great movies to watch on planes.
Just movies with people talking.
Yeah.
Maybe yelling at each other, but mainly talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12 Angry Men.
Don't watch, scenes with nudity or with hyper violence.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good point. I always like to watch Avatar on a plane because
that's a good choice.
Like you're transforming while you go into the new country.
Dude, Avatar has been growing on me over the last 10 years.
Yeah, I didn't like it the first time I saw it either. I was like, this sucks.
James Cameron in general has been growing on me. James Cameron, the man, he's
he's king of the world,
the deep sea diver.
I would like to get like James Cameron and Werner Herzog in a room. I feel like Herzog would
think they would hate each other.
I think they would too.
Oh my gosh, I think they would hate each other.
James Cameron would be like, "Yeah, I made like 30 billion on my last film," and Werner would be like, "You are empty. You do not have a soul. Who are you?"
Oh man,
that would be great.
But so Batman Begins.
Batman Begins. Yeah, so that's I feel like The Dark Knight was a big deal for me, but I feel like when I watched Batman Begins when I was a kid, I was super into it. And I feel like it's the movie that got me into Christopher Nolan, and also kind of like, because I feel like while I was making movies when I was then in middle school, but it was mainly like funny, like just having fun with friends, just making stuff up. And then I saw Batman Begins and all the Nolan movies, and I was like, I want to do that. I want to make like something serious, but that is also entertaining. And I watched Memento, and certainly like my movies when I made then were very Nolan inspired. And that was the catalyst.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's always cool when a movie has a direct impact on your life,
Yes.
and the trajectory you're taking in your craft, what have you. So that's cool that it affected you in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a cool superhero thing. It kind of like got that, like that and Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, I feel like were the ones that kind of made it into a giant thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. for better or worse.
I feel bad because I feel like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man has been forgotten in the MCU era, but Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is
Oh my gosh. I was
wonderful.
I was talking to one of my students about Spider-Man, and they really love the Tom Holland. What's his name?
Tom Holland.
Holland.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they love Tom Holland. And I mentioned Tobey Maguire, and they're just like, oh,
Isn't he like 40?
yeah, isn't he like old? Tobey Maguire rules. He's like the best crier in the history of cinema.
It's cool. Like I love that Sam Raimi directed those movies. It's they're so unique. The only thing I can like compare that to now with superhero movies would maybe be like, I don't know, like Taika Waititi with Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, it's still like a director's movie. Like a lot of the superhero movies you feel like are like kind of producer heavy, but then you have stuff like Thor Ragnarok or the Batman Begins or Black Panther that you're like, oh, this is
true
somebody's point of view, somebody's art.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. And then we are back into 2004.
Yes.
Yeah. We're going way back.
Did you guess what mine is?
Is it a Michael Mann movie?
Yeah.
Yep, I know it.
Of course.
It is. Yep, Collateral.
Yeah, I really like Collateral, guys. Really like it.
And I really like The Aviator. So
yeah, The Aviator is awesome. Yeah, I feel like it doesn't get enough credit. Like it's a really really good movie, and not like terribly like showy. It's just a very well made Scorsese film.
Yeah. And Collateral's probably Michael Mann's second best movie in my opinion.
Yeah, it's definitely up there.
It's up there. It's high. I mean, it's Tom Cruise in a way that you don't ever get to see Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Yeah, with the big name actors, sometimes you forget how good they are because they do so much schlock.
Right, schlock.
But yeah, that's a really great Tom Cruise role, and it doesn't go into like the life story of the characters. It's just about like one night,
right?
But you feel like you could hang with those characters for a while. And there's so many cool scenes, like that jazz scene, which if you know anything about jazz, it's bullcrap, that whole scene, because they're playing jazz, but it's actually the Miles Davis sellout jazz, which is good, but nobody plays that. No jazz people play that, but it's fun.
I see.
But I like Collateral a lot.
Yeah, nice. I feel like these are both movies that we've talked about in detail during our Scorsese and Michael Mann retrospectives.
For sure.
In full. So let's move on to 2003. I had a hard time with 2003. Clint Eastwood?
No.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, you know what? Now that I think, you're probably right.
What was the Clint Eastwood one?
What? Mystic River. Really great.
Yeah, Mystic River's good.
Yeah, Mystic River is good. Master and Commander is a lot better.
Way better. I feel like we have an appreciation for Master and Commander probably because our dads were in the Navy.
Absolutely.
I went to the Naval Academy, and it's about the Navy and being a sailor.
Oh golly, Captain Aubrey is such a leader.
I know, yeah, and it really holds up. Like I feel like I think about that movie a lot with Pirates of the Caribbean and Lord of the Rings, kind of tied to that because it was that time. But man, it's a great movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and lots of I feel like if the juggernaut that wasn't the Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King hadn't been released that year, it would have been a lot more lauded than it was. I think it would have,
for sure.
Yeah, I think it would have been a lot more awarded in the current year, and I almost wonder if, because my understanding is that Master and Commander is a massive book series. That if
like 15 books.
Yeah. which I have not read. I have only
No.
seen this movie, which I enjoy very much.
Master
But
Commander: Far Side of the Sea.
Yep.
Far Side of the World.
Far Side of the World.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's some good stuff. It's I mean, it's just great characters. I really love that director. We both have the same birthday.
Nice. Remind me of the director is.
No, Peter Weir.
Yep.
Yeah. He's definitely, his early movies are really incredible too. The Australian New Wave movies he made, Picnic at Hanging Rock, The Last Wave, I love. Yeah, he's good. Truman Show.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. He's pretty underrated, I feel like. And Master Commander, I feel like was his last great movie he made.
Nice.
And you love the characters in it. And
yeah. And Russell Crowe is just one of my favorite actors.
I like Russell Crowe a lot too. Gladiator and Master Commander. And
yeah.
I don't know. He seems like an interesting guy for sure. But he's got range.
He does have range. He absolutely has range.
Insider and then doing Gladiator within like a few months. That's kind of crazy.
And A Beautiful Mind, all in that same.
That's right.
Yeah, all in that same window. So like the late 90s into the early 2000s, and then Master and Commander right after that. So yeah, late 90s into early 2000s for Russell Crowe. That was
We're waiting for that Russell Crowe comeback.
Right.
Movie. What was that one that came out this year? Rage or something?
I did not see the Russell Crowe movie that came out this year.
Oh,
I think
there's one that came out.
Honestly, the last Russell Crowe movie I might have seen may have been Les Miserables.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like 2012.
Not a great singer.
No.
But
so he has like a band. Did you know that?
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I can see it.
But in he was hey Kat. He was getting he took some heat for his performance in Les Mis.
Huh. Well, he's got a rock voice. They just got to
Yeah.
It may sound bad to them, but Bob Dylan.
Sounds good to us.
Bob Dylan was like.
That's definitely Tom Hooper's best movie musical, though. He made Did he
make other musicals?
He made Cats.
That's right.
Cats. Yeah.
I haven't seen Cats.
Cats is a joy.
Looks weird.
It's odd. It's an odd one.
The person who lives with a cat, I don't know if I need it. All right, let's do 2002.
Oh, 2. Okay, let's see where I love.
Oh yeah, I love this one.
I need to fix my spreadsheet. Tell me what you went with.
I went with Adaptation.
Oh, good choice. Yeah, you do love that one.
Spike Jonze and Charlie Kaufman.
Nice.
Easily their best movie. But Being John Malkovich is really awesome. And I haven't seen Synecdoche, New York for a second time. I saw it the first time and I thought it was sad. I was like, this is sad. But I've heard it's really good on second viewing. But Adaptation, and I've seen it so many times, it always holds up for me.
Nice. Yeah, that was definitely my top 10 for the year. Yeah. I went with a pretty basic choice. I think I went with Catch Me If You Can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which 2002 actually was a pretty solid year for Steven Spielberg as well, between Catch Me If You Can and Minority Report.
Oh yeah. You didn't do Minority Report?
I chose Catch Me If You Can over Minority Report, man.
Interesting. I would choose Minority Report over Catch Me If You Can, but I've only seen Catch Me If You Can once, and I've seen Minority Report upwards of 20 times.
Yeah, Catch Me If You Can is one with you could benefit from a second viewing of it. It's quite funny when you watch it in adulthood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, rewatch it.
I'll have to rewatch Adaptation. I only saw it once, and that was like 12 years ago. Best
Nicolas Cage performance. It's got Meryl Streep in it. Chris Cooper, one of the best Chris Cooper performances.
Yeah.
It devolves into a drug cartel subplot.
What's Chris Cooper been up to these days? Last movie I saw him in was a pretty good political thriller in 2007 called Breach.
Oh, that's the last movie you saw him? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
What's he in? Oh, he was in that I wasn't that into it. He was in that Mr. Rogers movie with Tom Hanks, where
Oh,
he
I
plays
didn't see that.
Rogers.
I didn't see. It was a
Yeah,
Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
yeah.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
watched that, and then I watched Uncut Gems just to like clear the palate.
clear
I
ballot.
was like,
Yeah,
that was too sappy.
that was too sweet for you.
Gone.
I would
Yeah,
probably love it. I love the sappy stuff. There's
yeah.
another great
Well,
Tom Hanks movie called Saving Mr. Banks, where he plays Walt Disney and he's trying to
that's
get the
that's right.
person who played
That's right. I
the
do love
millionaire.
me some Hanks.
Yeah,
You gotta love Tom Hanks.
yeah, yeah,
Cool.
for
Well, let's
sure.
do 2001.
All right, oh one. I think you could probably guess mine for oh one.
I don't know.
Was the Royal Tenenbaums.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Nice.
Although 2001 was kind of a guilty pleasure year for me when I'm looking at the movies that I saw from there. Like the Royal Tenenbaums, I think it's Wes Anderson's best movie. I love Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman
Oh yeah.
is a terrific actor, and that's the only Wes Anderson movie that he is in. Wes Anderson obviously, casts a lot of the same people in a lot of his movies,
Yeah.
which is really cool. But I think Gene Hackman adds a lot of fun to the Royal
Yeah.
Tenenbaums. But
Yeah, he's perfect for that movie. Perfect.
yeah, for sure. But some close seconds, some guilty pleasures from that year were Vanilla Sky, the Tom Cruise movie, and A Knight's Tale.
Right. I
Yes.
still need to see Knight's Tale. That's right.
Yeah.
I chose Fellowship of the Ring.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah, that was another movie that just when I was young just had a major influence on me. Not sure if it's my favorite still from 2001. I do really like Royal Tenenbaums as well. But it definitely had like the biggest influence on me because I read Lord of the Rings before I watched uh that. So it got me into reading in a way that um that I hadn't been beforehand.
You're not the first person that's told me that
Yeah.
Lord of the
It's
Rings
like
was
between that and Harry Potter for our
right.
generation.
Right, true.
Yeah.
Those movies came out in the same year too, by the way. The Fellowship of the Ring and the Sorcerer's Stone, they both came out in
Oh,
01.
that's
Yeah.
crazy. That
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember because like the first I read Chamber of Secrets and then I read Fellowship of the Ring or
Mm.
The Hobbit. Yeah.
Oh, I hate The Hobbit.
Dude, the book is better than that trash movie.
Dude, I hate the book. I like I
Man.
like the Lord of the Rings. I've read the Lord of the Rings. I love it.
Yeah.
The Hobbit.
The
I don't know what it
Hobbit's
is.
short. It's more like a kid's thing.
Yeah.
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 Lord of the Rings gets into that gets real deep into the nations of the Lord of the Middle Earth.
Middle Earth. Yeah.
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 I read that book.
Nice.
Yeah. And the movies are amazing too. Like I can't even
Those
really
movies are
watch Two
terrific.
Towers anymore because I've seen it so many times. Like when I was a kid, I watched it like every day for some reason.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about this. Every so often I just go and, rank my preferences of various movie series.
Yeah.
When I was a child, The Two Towers was definitely my least favorite one. I loved Fellowship of the
Really?
Ring and I loved Return of the King for the scope. Two Towers is the best one, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really good. I don't know. I like Fellowship of the Ring a lot. I think Fellowship of the Ring is my favorite because it's almost like, especially Return of the King, it's like, oh, they got like all that money and now they can do the entire thing. But like with Fellowship of the Ring, you felt like they were holding off, like they weren't showing you Gollum, which is cool when you like the performance of Gollum is amazing.
Yeah.
Hours but they were like holding off a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of like, I don't know, there's just a lot of like it's just exciting to watch it because you're like, it's the beginning.
Right.
But
I think it's pretty remarkable that they filmed all three at one time.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's
crazy. I mean, I think a lot of people think it's like the beginning of the mini series kind of thing, but it's just amazing as like a movie, like as three movies.
Nice.
Yeah, but it certainly has something in common with Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely. Which brings us to 2000.
2000. I went with Chicken Run.
What? No way. That's awesome.
I love Chicken Run.
I was listening to this podcast, Office Hours with Tim Heidecker.
Yeah, yeah.
He had this time, I remember some caller came in and was just like, have you heard anything about them making a Chicken Run 2? like, and he was just like, no, I don't. And like the entire episode just ended up being about Chicken Run.
It's like The Great Escape. It's like the Count of Monte Cristo. It's everything you would want in a movie.
Yeah, that's true. It does have like a Great Escape, like escaping from prison kind of vibe, and it's got Mel Gibson, and who has certainly he's fallen in in the eyes of the public since 2000. But Chicken Run is awesome.
But Chicken Run's cool.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in a while.
What'd you say?
So I'm between two, but I think I'm gonna say Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Oh, good choice.
I love Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
What was your other choice out of curiosity?
What
was your other choice out of curiosity?
Battle Royale.
Okay.
Have you seen Battle Royale?
I have, actually.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's like, that's like my crazy choice, and then Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is like my normal choice.
Nice. Okay.
But it's definitely Ang Lee's best movie, Crouching Tiger, I think.
You think so?
Yeah, I like it. I like Brokeback Mountain and The Ice Storm and certainly Life of Pi, but yeah, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is just like just great.
Okay.
Love it.
Nice.
Love the action, love the great tragedy of the characters. It's great.
Nice.
Yeah. And Battle Royale, can't go wrong with hyper violent Hunger Games.
A lot of action.
Yeah.
A lot of action.
All those kids that are in Battle Royale are the people in Kill Bill.
I did not know that, actually.
Yeah.
That's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, I can't remember what they're called in Kill Bill.
I don't know.
Well, it brings us to 1999, which is also a super, super good.
Very, very good year in 1999.
I have two.
Yeah, I think I know one of them. I went with Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Was Election one of your two?
No, actually.
What?
There are like so many movies from 1999. Like, Election is awesome. But I actually went with one. This is my one basic one, and then the one that is my weird offbeat one. The Insider.
Yep.
Is big for me. And a movie that I think is really underrated is The Limey.
Tell me about The Limey.
The Limey is this like art house action film by Steven Soderbergh, the guy who did Traffic and Ocean's 11 and Contagion, which is a big one recently. And it's underrated, and it's funny, and it's like beautifully edited, and it just kind of works as like something like Get Carter, or like some of the action movies from the 60s that just turned into these like psychedelic trippy things, I guess.
Right on.
And it's good, worth watching.
Cool.
Yeah,
but 1999, terrific year for movies.
Magnolia
was made in 1999.
The Matrix,
Fight Club.
Yeah.
American Beauty, which has kind of lost its luster a little bit, but
it's true. It's still very good.
It's
a bit.
It's complicated now. Yeah.
But 1999, that's a big one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What about 98?
98. Okay, so I had two. I had
98.
What?
I
was like 6. I was 5, turning 6.
5, yeah.
So my favorite today is probably The Truman Show.
Yeah.
And we know from 2014 that I was a big Exodus Gods and Kings fan. I was also pretty big on The Prince of Egypt back in '98.
Yeah,
So.
we watched it one time too. That was a good viewing.
Yeah, love a good Moses story.
Yeah, there's that one moment that's odd when they're singing. It says it's hard to kill. And
Yeah,
it's a very strange little like. It was that one of those like moments that they do in Disney movies where you're like, what? What did they just say?
but okay. So as a clarification, Exodus: Gods and Kings is not a good movie. Exodus: Gods and Kings is really not good. The Prince of Egypt is actually pretty good. It's got really beautiful animation and really terrific voice work. But
yeah,
I
remember liking it as a kid too.
Yeah. And then that was also animation wise. That was also the Ants: A Bug's Life year. I was always more Ants.
Oh man, Bug's Life all the way.
Gotcha.
Bug's Life.
Yeah.
I don't think I watched Ants. Isn't Woody Allen in that?
Yes, he's the main character.
He's like, I'm an ant. So
the movie is a hot mess. It's fun.
I wish I watched Ants.
Sylvester Stallone's in it as like Woody Allen is like this neurotic, ant. And Sylvester Stallone's like the big warrior ant and warrior ant. Yeah, it's pretty wild. But
Bug's Life is Seven Samurai plot.
Right.
It's the same.
But The Truman Show is up there as well. The Truman Show is a wonderful movie from Peter Weir, and
it's so good.
Everybody knows I like Ed Harris, so
yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah,
Peter Weir's in it. Philip Glass soundtrack. Philip Glass in it also.
Yeah.
He's like playing music for the Truman Show on Truman Show, the movie. That's a great movie and one of the best Jim Carrey movies, serious Jim Carrey movies. Yeah, I agree. Well, that's definitely up there for me, but The Big Lebowski. Yeah.
Really, The Big Lebowski over Rushmore.
Actually, yeah, maybe it is. You know what? Now, I think nowadays, since I've seen The Big Lebowski more, I would rather watch Rushmore than Big Lebowski.
Okay.
Yeah, Rushmore is probably my favorite Wes Anderson movie, but it goes like off and on with The Big Lebowski. There's still a lot of love in my heart for the dude, Walter, Donnie, the Jesus.
Nice.
That's a big deal. It's a big movie for me. But yeah, Rushmore is also awesome. It's like, I feel like Wes Anderson at his best, he's like, his movies look really cute, but the stories are really kind of edgy a little bit. They're dark comedies. And I like...
Oh, they're certainly dark comedies.
Yeah. Sure. And I like how dark Rushmore is. I mean, it's like... I guess it takes a lot from The Graduate and other things, but certainly one of my favorite Bill Murray performances. So good.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was between those two.
Cool.
It's good year.
Cool. And that takes us back to 97.
Yes.
Yep. The youngsters that we were.
Probably watching baseball.
Yep. Go O's.
What'd you choose?
I chose. I'm going back and forth now, man. I can't go back and forth every year. I'm going with Men in Black.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Good choice.
I was choosing Titanic or Men in Black, and if I had to sit down and watch a movie, it would be Men in Black. Actually, I would go so far as to say if I just had to sit down and watch a movie and I could watch it like every day over and over again, like if I was stuck on an island with one movie, that movie might be Men in Black.
Men in Black is a good one. It's just really fun.
It's so fun.
The rapport between Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. It's pretty great.
And Tommy Lee Jones is a treasure.
He's pretty cool.
I love Tommy Lee Jones. I love Will Smith too.
He's like, well, I don't want to do that. Well, I don't want to go there. I just don't feel like it today.
Yeah.
That's my terrible Tommy Lee Jones.
That was great.
Yeah.
I hope when I'm an old man, I'm like Tommy Lee Jones.
I hope when I'm an old man, I'm like Werner Herzog.
That's a good one too. That's a good one too.
But my voice is just not that deep. I was wondering, like, would he be so cool if his voice was not deep?
I mean, I think I mean, his voice is definitely one of his defining things, but I mean, we talked about him in detail. I think he
It's
just
true.
has such a fascinating life.
For sure.
You
For
know, just
sure.
just walking, spending months in the jungle,
Yeah.
you know, just, yeah.
Amazing
Okay.
life. But yeah, that's a good choice. Men in Black, Titanic, certainly.
I love Titanic.
I remember like being a kid and hearing about Titanic, but I never saw it for like a long time.
Titanic was
all the kids had seen it.
Titanic was the first movie I actively remember seeing in theaters.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
My parents took little 5-year-old me to see Titanic, and it was great. Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Winslet, some of the best on-screen chemistry ever. James Cameron at his peak, he was the king of the world.
Bill Paxton at his peak.
Bill Paxton, Billy Zane, certainly at Billy Zane's peak.
Yeah. I chose kind of a off one. Well, while we're talking about going to see movies in theaters, I think we talked about I had like a pretty scarring movie viewing of Toy Story 2, but we don't have to go into detail. Well, they showed rated R trailers, and I was like scarred.
Right? Yeah.
Like traumatized.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, like it was kind of a funny like thinking back on it. Like all these parents were just flipping out. Like,
I thought they were mortified.
Yeah, it's kind of funny to think about now. But
yeah.
But I saw. Well, I picked Princess Mononoke actually.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's my favorite of the Miyazaki movies. It's kind of similar in like theme to Akira, the other anime movie that's super good. And I just like it. That's my fave.
Nice. Is Princess Mononoke, is that a Studio Ghibli movie?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I've been ever since I've had HBO Max, I've been trying to get into Studio Ghibli.
Man, you gotta check out Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, I know.
The best.
I know. I'm really big on I'm real big on Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
Christian Bale as the dubbed actor.
Yeah.
It's Howl. But
nice.
Yeah.
What we got? We got 96. So
96.
Yeah. Wow. The 90s. What an incredible time.
Great time to be alive.
Yeah. Better than this time.
Clinton administration.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Bill.
Yeah, Bill Clinton was the president.
What did you pick?
I picked Jerry Maguire.
Oh, cool.
my favorite Cameron Crowe movie by far.
Nice.
I
like Almost Famous.
Almost Famous is great. Jerry Maguire speaks to me a little bit more because I'm a big sports fan.
True. True. Yeah.
And it's. I think I mentioned earlier on that there are very few performances by children in adult movies that I actively like, and Jonathan Lipnicki in Jerry Maguire is one of those.
Yeah,
I think he's terrific.
He's good.
Renee Zellweger's terrific. Tom Cruise, Cuba Gooding Jr. won an Oscar for this movie. Yeah,
interesting. I don't know if he's that good in it. I mean, he's good, but I don't know if he's like that. Good.
He's that good, man.
Okay.
actually, it was a pretty controversial win. I do not know who else was nominated for Best Supporting Actor that year, but my understanding
I just remember it being like, okay, he's cool. He's like a football player.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good one. It's very cute. I saw this like New Yorker cartoon. I sound so pretentious if I say I saw this New Yorker cartoon.
Yeah, sound incredible.
Where it was like Jerry Maguire, like if it was this year, and it was like a Zoom meeting, and he was like, "I'm leaving. Who's with me?" It was like in the Zoom. It's funny.
Yeah. Nice.
What did I pick? Oh, I picked something I saw in high school, Waiting for Guffman.
Interesting.
Yeah, have you seen that one?
Nope.
It's so good. If you like that, like, have you seen Best in Show or any of the Christopher Guest movies?
I've seen Best in Show.
Yeah, it's very similar to Best in Show.
Okay.
That's the first one I saw, and I just remember dying laughing in my theater class.
Your 90s choices are surprising me, and my 90s choices are probably surprising you.
Yeah, I
But
think we've got some interesting choices. Like we got some, they're offbeat.
I could have sworn you would have said Trainspotting.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah. Or wait, I think Lone Star came out that year. Yeah, I forgot about Lone Star. I didn't do my research like I should have.
It's
I just
okay.
Googled.
We're
But
just
that's
having
true.
fun.
Trainspotting and Lone Star, I think, came out that year. And those are two big ones. One of my favorite John Sayles movies. I think that was 94. Better be. And Trainspotting, yeah. Trainspotting is the best.
Right.
I think it's interesting that I was talking to somebody who said they didn't really like it because they didn't really like the characters, because they thought they're like scumbags. And like I feel like that's why I like it, because they're all like, you know, junkies and
Yeah, I mean, every
uh,
movie can't be about like, really, great people.
no, that would be
I like
boring. If every movie was about super perfect people.
but I also, I was thinking about this the other day. I also don't like movies that are just like about like bad people. Like they're fun to watch sometimes, just like movies that are about good people are fun to watch, but it depends upon the movie. I like movies about real people, man.
Yeah, I think that's why I
Good
like
qualities, bad qualities.
yeah, I agree. I think that's why I like Trainspotting more than Requiem for a Dream, because Requiem for a Dream is really good, but it's very like, and I have this issue with Darren Aronofsky a lot, even though his movies are amazing. Well, especially Noah.
I love Noah. It's no Exodus, but it's
Yeah,
it's up there.
the Bible epics.
Ben-Hur, not really a Bible epic, but
But what was I saying? Oh yeah, yeah. Darren Aronofsky is very like black and white. It's like this person's evil, this person's good. But in like Trainspotting, like all those characters except for Begbie are like a mix of good and
right,
bad.
right.
He's just the worst. He's like a psychopath. But yeah, I just like those movies where it's about people that have the whole gamut. They got
Yeah,
good and bad qualities all around.
yeah. Like
That's
Barry Lyndon.
Yeah, like Barry Lyndon. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Love Barry Lyndon.
It's a great movie. I can't believe I waited 28 years to watch it.
Yeah, I'm glad you like the second half too.
Yeah, the second half was great.
Yeah, when his son falls off the horse. Tragic.
Yeah, that's so sad. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I bet we're gonna have similar ones for 95 and 94 though.
I think, yeah, we probably will. I couldn't actively think of, I had a hard time with 95. I could only list like 12 movies that I remember seeing.
Yeah. Is it Apollo 13?
Yeah, it's Apollo 13.
Me too.
Yeah.
That was a big one for like my childhood, and then also like later. Like it still holds up. Like it's really great. Probably my second favorite NASA movie.
Is The Right Stuff your favorite?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The Right
Number
Stuff
one.
is phenomenal.
Yeah. It's like an art house Top Gun,
Yeah.
basically.
That's exactly what it is.
It's like if Top Gun got really artsy, then it
Yeah.
would be Right Stuff.
Michael Mann and David Fincher both had really, really significant releases in 1995 with Heat and Seven. But
Yes.
I think for me, if I just had to choose which one I would watch, it would be Apollo 13, and it certainly is Apollo 13. It's what was the word that you used to describe Catch Me If You Can? Like, not soapy, like, I don't know, but it was
remember.
like, it was like really, it's just a sweet movie, and it's
Fun.
it's good to see. It's always good to see people come together to solve a problem.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah, Tom Hanks is in
Tom
it.
Hanks.
What?
What was it? What I said about Tom Hanks?
Yeah. Or no, you were actually talking about another Tom Hanks movie. You were talking about the Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood one.
Too sappy.
Yeah, sappy. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
It's a little sappy, but I don't mind the sap.
Yeah, it depends on the sap, like sometimes if it's too much, like there's a scene in that Mr. Rogers movie where he stares into the camera and asks for a moment of silence. And that was too much for
Hmm.
me. It's too intense.
Yeah. But Apollo 13 is probably my favorite Gary Sinise performance as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Ed
He,
Harris, man.
Ed Harris, what a
Yeah.
leader. Holy Toledo.
He
You went
is,
from
man.
like, my goodness, I could write a thesis on the leadership of that man during the the Apollo 13 crisis up in space.
Yeah, he's good in those two space movies. He's
Yeah,
also in Right
he's
Stuff.
great in the right stuff.
Great leader.
Have you ever noticed that all the space movies, like all the early space movies, Hidden Figures, The Right Stuff, they make John Glenn out to be like the pinnacle of perfection in like
Yeah.
a person.
Well, I remember. Well, there's one scene
And
I
I'm
think
cool
in
with
The
it.
Right Stuff. Well, I remember where all the astronauts are all like getting laid, and he's like, like you have wives, and they're like, Mr. Glenn, back off. I thought that was funny. I mean, yeah, he certainly seems like he was a great guy.
Oh yeah, we're talking John Glenn right now, right?
Yeah, now we're moved on to real.
Yeah, we've moved on to John Glenn. Yeah, John Glenn was incredible. I mean, the first man to orbit the Earth. First senator from Ohio. Yeah, first senator in space.
First senator in space.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Didn't know
yeah,
he
went up on the space shuttle in '98.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, Ohio's incredible, man.
Ohio's a great state.
So yeah. Which brings us to 94.
All right. Let's see. Good stuff in '94.
Yeah, for
I had a
sure.
few movies. I don't think I went. I didn't want to go with Pulp Fiction because that was like Pulp Fiction.
I did.
But
It was just basic. I mean, it is really basic to say Pulp Fiction, but yeah,
I mean, I also feel like the Shawshank Redemption's pretty basic too.
Yeah.
But
Forrest Gump.
Or Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Quiz Show.
Like I don't know. Those are like standards. Those are like flawless movies almost.
Yeah.
Like they're like everybody like, oh yeah, my favorite movie is Forrest Gump. It's like, okay, so you like a movie, like a really good movie. Like, I mean, it's great, but it's very it's kind of basic, I guess.
Yeah. Lots of but yeah, those are all great movies.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction is I don't know if it's my favorite Tarantino, but it's kind of like that's the first big one, I feel like.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction was definitely the most like long term, the most impactful movie of 1994 for sure.
Yeah. Shawshank too. I mean, Shawshank's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, Shawshank's a big deal. I like it. Tim Robbins
overlooked.
Tim Robbins is like a giant of a man. He's like 6'7" or something.
Wow.
Yeah. But
so which one did you go with?
I went with the Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's on a Stephen King kick, and
I always forget that's Stephen King.
I know. Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. There's not really a flaw with it. No, it's long, but it doesnn't feel long. Who's the director? Frank Darabont.
Is it still the number one on IMDb?
I believe it is.
Yeah.
which like, don't get me wrong, The Shawshank Redemption is great. It's kind of a weird number one for the IMDb. Yeah. Like,
it's hopeful.
It is hopeful. That's
inspiring.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. You can be redeemed. There's redemption.
Yep.
That's all.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good one. And yeah, IMDb's favorite for sure.
Yep.
What about 93?
93. I went with Jurassic Park.
Hell yeah. Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park is great. It is kind of mind-blowing that Jurassic Park and Schindler's List came out in the same year.
What did you go with?
What did I go with? Oh my gosh. So I picked one. I don't think it's not a movie I watch nowadays. But when I was a kid, I watched it a lot because I was kind of weird. But it's Gettysburg.
Right.
I had a phase in my childhood where I was watching Gettysburg all the time.
Dude, that's so funny.
Because like I went, we went out to all these Civil War sites, and it was just like, what was that like? Pop in Gettysburg. That's
Yeah.
what it was like. And I don't know. It's like this is definitely influential for me when I
Mm.
watched it. And Civil War movies are interesting because there's such a like, it's interesting to think about because we grew up around a place where the Civil War happened, but like you've got things like Gone with the Wind, which are pretty offensive, but then you've got things like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which is a Civil War movie, kind of. I mean, it takes place during the Civil War, but it's in Spain,
Mm.
and I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool, like just the way it kind of makes Gone with the Wind better because it takes place during the Civil War. I don't know. It's an interesting topic for a movie, but
Is
I watched
Gettysburg your
Gettysburg a
favorite?
lot.
Is it your favorite Civil War movie?
What's my favorite Civil War movie?
Is Gettysburg your favorite?
No, I would say it's definitely like the one that you probably want to watch if you're gonna watch a Civil War movie. The
Mm.
90s, for some reason, they talk about the Civil War a lot, but um no, I don't know what my favorite.
Yeah,
I
let's
mean,
see.
probably
I'm
The Good,
trying
the
to
Bad,
think
and the
some.
Ugly, even though it almost doesn't count.
Yeah. And then there's Lincoln. There's
Lincoln, yeah,
Glory.
Glory is a
Glory.
good one.
It's Matthew
Glory
Broderick,
might be my favorite. Yeah,
Denzel Washington.
yeah, but it was like a little too violent for me when I was a kid
Mm.
to watch it. But I did watch it actually. I think we skipped certain scenes, but um, yeah, Glory is better than Gettysburg for
So
sure.
Gettysburg is based on a book called The Killer Angels, which I have
Yeah,
yet to read, and his son wrote a book. The author's son, I believe,
yeah,
as well, wrote a book
Shara
called
something.
Shara wrote a book called Gods and Generals, which was made
Yes.
into a movie in the early 2000s. So which was also kind of one of those sprawling Civil War movies, very long with a lot of generals and stuff.
A lot of
Um,
generals having long like Shakespearean speeches.
yeah. So
Yeah.
why Gettysburg over Gods and Generals? Is it the
Hmm.
nostalgia factor? Is it
I actually, well, Gettysburg I think is better. Is actually a better movie. It is a good movie, better than Gods and Generals. Gods and Generals is kind of sketchy because one, it actually takes place in our hometown, Fredericksburg. It goes over the Battle of Fredericksburg, but it really like makes Stonewall Jackson look good,
mm,
which is I don't know. That guy was a mofo, man. That guy,
mm,
guy was not a nice guy. And like, there's a lot of moments where it's like, oh, he was like such a good Christian. And it's like, was
yeah.
he? I mean, he was like a Bible thumping,
So
guy. But
I actually haven't seen either of those movies.
wow, that's fine.
Yeah, because I like to tell the truth, growing up in Virginia, we learned so much about the Civil War
So much.
that I kind of had no interest in watching movies about it.
Yeah, true. I think I probably watched it before I could be like, all right, I'm bored. But
Yeah.
I,
But was was one of them like shown from the perspective of the Union Army and one of them shown from the
well,
perspective of the
Gettysburg it does both.
Okay.
And it really makes like this guy Chamberlain look like a big hero, and it makes Lee look kind of like he was messing up then, and it does both sides, and kind of like humanizes both the generals on both sides, and the book does the same, and it's a pretty fantastic like story and everything. Gods and Generals, I don't know if they filmed it in Virginia, but um I don't know, it was just kind of boring.
Mm,
It wasn't intriguing with the characters, and there was a lot of cringy moments with Stonewall Jackson. You're like, that guy was like a psycho. But
right, right. Yeah. So
but yeah, that's my odd choice for 93.
that is the
Maybe I'll
90s.
rewatch Gettysburg. I haven't seen it in a long time.
It, it's funny to think about this because, like, when I look at the 2010s, like we have a lot of similar choices. Like, when we
Yeah.
like started going to movies and talking about movies from that time in detail and stuff, and then before that, it's just all over the place.
I know. Yeah, our
It's cool.
90s choices are like
I like
diverging,
it.
which is good.
I
except
like it.
for,
Yeah.
Apollo 13. That's where
Yeah. Apollo 13's rad.
yeah. Yeah.
But all right, so that takes us to
Do it. Let's end this
1992,
thing.
our birth year. Let's end it.
Yeah, 92. What did you choose?
I chose Glengarry Glen Ross.
Oh man, good choice.
Thanks, man.
That's a great choice.
Yeah.
Oh,
What'd you go
I
with?
love that movie. That movie. I love Al Pacino. Ed Harris.
Yeah.
Yes, Kevin Spacey. He's good. Jack
Alec
Lemmon.
Baldwin. Yep.
Yeah. But my favorite part of that is Al Pacino. I mean, he's a rock star in that movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he plays like himself. He's playing like a rock star. What are they?
They're salesmen.
Salesmen,
are
yeah. He's like a rock star salesman. Yeah.
Yeah, they're in a high pressure sales environment.
Where are the leads?
And
I don't know.
It's
cursing.
adapted by Mamet from his own play.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Mamet's an interesting dude.
Yeah.
I definitely don't like agree with his politics, but I love his plays and everything he writes for as a screenplay. It's amazing.
Yeah. And everything is made better by Ed Harris now that I'm looking back on that man's career.
He's a gleaming bald head.
He's got those intense eyes.
Yes.
And that jawline. Ooh, Ed.
You should check out Walker. Have you seen that movie?
I have not seen Walker. Oh, A History of Violence. That's a great movie.
That's
right. I'm looking at his filmography now.
That. Yeah.
Yep.
He's good.
The Abyss.
Yeah. I would like to have seen him do To Kill a Mockingbird on Broadway.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He took over for Jeff Daniels.
Yeah. Sorkin wrote that adaptation.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
I've seen that. My 92. So I have two ones. I mean, Last of the Mohicans, sort of like Gettysburg, is kind of like, that's a movie I grew up with. These historical epics from the 90s were certainly super influential on me. But I chose Baraka.
I did not realize Baraka was from 92.
Yeah.
That is
that restoration, and it just looked like
it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Such a beautiful movie. Yeah.
Holy smokes. I had no idea that was from 92.
It's certainly, like, if you watch it, it's hard to believe it's made in 92 because it could have easily been made in like the 2000s, especially if you watch the Blu-ray. It's just such a beautiful movie. I'd love to see it like an IMAX or something.
Yeah, I've only seen it once. I saw it like at a screening in Fredericksburg, and it was I just remember being so moved by it. It was just kind of the filmmaker, filming the world. But
I remember, I don't know if you watched it just one time, because I think we watched it again.
I think you're right.
Remember specifically during that Holocaust scene when they show the faces. That's like one of the most terrifying moments in the movies. Like, that movie kind of runs the there's so many emotions that happen, and there's not really any characters. It's just like mood and
experience.
And that moment where they show the faces is like, it's just kind of terrifying.
Yeah, it's haunting.
Yes,
absolutely haunting. Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. I'm gonna watch it later today.
Yeah. Well, shoot, had I known Baraka was made in 1992, maybe I would have chosen Baraka.
Baraka is badass.
Yeah.
Also a character from Mortal Kombat.
Okay. Right on.
That's why, like, whenever you say Baraka, people are like, oh yeah, like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Nice. So
I liked our different choices for the 90s.
I loved our different choices for the 90s. So this was fun. What do you think we're going to talk about next, Alex?
I don't know. It'd be fun to talk about. I'm really interested in talking about midnight movies. It's certainly like the cult or B movies that have grown in popularity. whether it
Ooh,
be
yeah.
horror movies or yeah, or otherwise.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so we'll be coming back to you soon, this time next week. If you guys have anything you would like us to talk about or to research, let us know and we can do that.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching, listening. Stay safe and be well.
Ciao.